All right, we're back with part 2 of Module 2, Lesson 9. These are the exercises from your packet. I'm going to show you how to answer these, but first I want to make sure that you try these yourselves, because we've talked about examples on how to go about getting these done, and I want you to solve them individually today, and then when the majority of the class is ready, then I'll have your teacher, your guest teacher, play the video again so you can see the solution. If you have questions, please raise your hand, get permission to ask that question of your guest teacher today. All right, so here is exercise 1. If you haven't done it yet, pause the video and I'll come back and answer it for you. So here's the solution. Question is, Samantha and her friends are going on a road trip that's 245 and 7/50ths miles long. They have already driven 128 and 53 hundredths. How much farther do they have to drive? Well, this, in the first thing that I have to do here is decide, am I going to add or subtract? And in this case, I am, let's see, let me get a highlighter here so I can show you what I do. Here's a good highlighter. I am going to take the number of miles that the complete road trip is, 245 and 7/50ths miles, and I'm going to take away the miles that they've already driven. That will leave me with the distance that they have to drive still. So this is going to be a subtraction problem. So I'm going to write the subtraction problem by taking first the total trip, 245. That's my whole number. The fraction is going to be the decimal. So there's my decimal. And it's 7/50ths. Well, I don't have a place value for 50ths, but I can change 50ths into hundredths by multiplying by 2. So if I multiply 50 by 2, it's going to change it into 100. So I have to multiply 7 times 2, and that is 14. So 14 hundredths is the decimal. 14 in the hundredths place. Okay? And then I'm going to subtract 128. Now, the 128 has to line up. So my 8 is in the ones place. So is the 5. They have to be in line. So that 8 goes there. And then I just fill in from there. There's a 2, that's a 1. The fraction is a decimal. And this is a nice one because it's 53 hundredths. I don't have to do anything to it. 53 in the hundredths place. Okay? So there is your subtraction problem. And then you just follow the subtraction algorithm to get your answer. 4 minus 3, that's 1. Can't take 5 away from 1, so I'm going to have to borrow. Do you notice that I can't take 8 away from 5 either? So I'm just going to go and borrow at the next place that I have a surplus. And so I'm going to take 3, take 1 away from there, leaves 3. I'm going to add that to the next place value, and then I'm going to borrow from that 15 and make it a 14. And now I've done all of my borrowing all at once, and I can just subtract. 11 minus 5 is 6. 14 minus 8, that's 6. 3 minus 2 is 1, and 2 minus 1 is 1. The decimal goes right in line, so right there, right there. The answer is 116 and 61 hundredths of a mile remaining on their trip. All right, there's exercise 1. Exercise 2. Pause if you have not finished. And here is the solution. First of all, I have to decide, what am I going to do here? Ben needs to replace 2 sides of his fence. One side is 367 and 9/100ths meters long, and the other is 329 and 3/10ths meters long. How much fence does Ben need to buy? Well, I gotta replace both of these, so I need to add them up. I'm going to take that fraction, that side of the fence, and I'm going to add it to this other side of the fence. And when I add them together, I'll get the total amount of fence that I need to buy. So let's see. This is addition, so it doesn't matter which one I do first. I'll just start with that one. So 367 and 9 hundredths. That means the 9 goes in the hundredths place. Just like that. And then 329 and 3 tenths. Well, again, I've got to line up my place values. So since the 9 is the ones place, so is the 7. They have to be underneath each other. So this is a 9, and the decimal goes there, and this is a 2, and that's a 3. And then 3 tenths. Well, that's a 3 in the tenths place. Now, don't let this bother you. You just fill in a 0 in the end. And this is addition. Okay, let's add them up. 9 plus 0, 9. 0 plus 3, 3. 9 and 7, that's 16. 6 and 2 is 8, plus another one, that's 9. And then 3 plus 3 is 6. Decimal goes straight down into my answer. Answer is 696 and 39 hundredths meters of fence that Ben needs to buy. Okay, exercise 3. Please pause it and work on this individually. And I'm back. Here's the answer. First of all, Mike wants to paint his new office with 2 different colors. He needs 4 4/5 gallons of red paint and 3 1/10 gallons of brown paint. How much paint does he need in total? Well, this in total is a giveaway. It means I'm going to add 4 4/5 and 3 1/10, except I want to use decimals. So let me see here. Let me get a new color. And 4 4/5. Well, it's 4, and the 4 4/5 part is going to be the decimal, so I can put a decimal there. And the problem is I don't have a fifths place, so I'm going to change this into tenths. 5 times 2 is tenths, so 4 times 2 is 8. 8 tenths. 8 in the tenths place. No problem. And I'm going to add that to 3 1/10. 3 and, this is the decimal, 1 in the tenths place. Okay, notice how I have my place values and my decimals lined up. And now I can just add. 8 plus 1 is 9. 4 plus 3 is 7. Decimal goes straight down into my answer. The answer is 7 9/10 gallons of paint. Hopefully these are working out well for you. Let's look at number 4. If you haven't finished number 4, take a pause on the video right now, and I'll be right back with the answer. All right, here we go. The answer is, well, I got to figure it out first. So here we go. After Ariana completed some work, she figured she still had 78 and 21 hundredths pictures to paint. If she completed another 34 and 23 25ths pictures, how many pictures does Ariana still have to paint? Well, I'm trying to find the difference here. And the difference is a subtraction problem. So I'm going to start with the number that she still has to paint. And I'm going to take away the amount that she completes. So here we go. 78. And 21 hundredths. That's 21 in the hundredths place. 78.21. I'm going to take away 34. That's the whole number. So I'm going to line up my whole number so that the ones place and the tens place are lined up. And my decimals lined up. And then 23 25ths. Well, I don't have a 25ths place in my decimal system, so I'm going to change 25ths into hundreds. Well, that's 25 times 4, so I would have to multiply 23 times 4 to get the equivalent fraction. So 23 times 4 is 92. 92 hundredths I can write as a decimal. Okay, this is subtraction. So let's see, can't take 2 away from 1, so I need to borrow, but I can't take 9 away from 2, so I need to borrow again. So I'm going to borrow all the way over here, that's a 7. Borrow it over, and then I got to borrow from the 12 to make it 11, and then I have 11 minus 2 is 9. 11 minus 9 is 2. 7 minus 4 is 3, and 7 minus 3 is 4. The decimal goes straight down into my answer. She has 43 and 29/100ths pictures still left to paint. It's a lot of painting. Okay, last one. Number 5. It says to use a calculator, but I'm going to show you how to use your brain, which is the best calculator. Pause it. Do it, and I'll come back with the answer. Here we go. We're going to convert the fractions into decimals for this problem. So here's the issue. Rozelle wants to determine how much gasoline he and his wife use in a month. He calculated that he used 78 1/3 gallons of gas last month. Rozelle's wife used 41 3/8 gallons of gas last month. How much total gas did Rozelle and his wife use last month? How much total gas? That's going to be addition. 78 1/3 plus 41 3/8. All right, so we're just going to add here. But here's the issue. How do we change thirds into hundredths or tenths? We can't do it. So, man, if there was a way that we could change a fraction into a decimal. Oh, what was that? I hope you're yelling at the screen right now saying, Mr. Shankel, just do what it says. Got it. 1 divided by 3. 1 divided by 3. Add a decimal, add a 0. 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract, you get a 1. Add another 0 and bring it down. Do you see what's going to happen? 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract, you get a 1. Bring down another 0. It's going to be 3 no matter what. Notice my decimal goes straight up into my answer. So 1/3 is equivalent to 0.3 repeating. So I'm going to write my 78 and 1/3 as 78 point. I don't know, I'll go out here maybe 3 places. Now, you know that the 3 never ends, right? I would continue to write 3s out here until I ran out of energy to write 3s. And I still would not have enough 3s out there. But we can't calculate with something that big. It's a waste of time. So I'm going to round it off here at some point at maybe 3 decimal places, the thousandths place. And now I'm going to add. All my rules still apply. I'm going to add 41, so I'm going to line it up, line up the decimal, and now I need to know what 3/8 is. Well, 3/8, I'm going to do the same thing. 3 divided by 8. 3 divided by 8. Add a decimal and a 0. 8 goes into 30 3 times. 3 times 8 is 24. Subtract and I get a 6. Add another 0 and bring it down. 8 goes into 60. Well, that's 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. Subtract, I get a 4. Bring down another 0. 8 goes into 45 times. So my answer is 0.375. So 3/8 is the same as 0.375, 375 thousandths. So now I can add. And this is just lining up the decimals, lining up the place values, and doing some addition. So 3 plus 5 is 8. 3 plus 7 is 10, carry the 1. 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. The decimal goes straight down into my answer. 8 plus 1 is 9. And 7 plus 4 is 11.